Hello and welcome to the Villager Beginner video of the series, where I'll be covering most of the aspects of the game from a villager's perspective. When a match starts, all players except one or two will be villagers and will spawn in one of several spawn points scattered across the map. I'm not in one set spot now, but there are many of them. I don't know where they're all at, and I will not be going over the possible locations. I will pause the video now and see you again at the start of the next match to go over the map. Okay, so in each of the four corners are events for different NPCs, such as this one right here. Completing each corner's first event of the three will spawn a true feast, which provides the same effects as consuming food, which I'll describe later in the video. The second event completed will spawn a small group of friendly combat creatures who will attack any ghost they encounter while patrolling, and the third event completed will spawn a friendly veteran NPC who will likewise go on patrol attacking ghosts on sight. They can be found right here in the southwest, right here at this mausoleum in the southeast, at this mausoleum in the northeast, and at this mausoleum in the northwest. In that order, this one will take the black goo, and it'll go up to it and just turn it in like you would a normal event in PvE areas of the world. Over in the southeast, they accept spider webs. In the northeast, they take torches. In the northwest, they take bones. Finally, each place will spawn different types of NPCs. In the southwest, they'll spawn oozes and a veteran ooze. In the southeast, it'll be plastic spiders and a veteran plastic spider. In the northeast, it'll be fire imps and a veteran imp. And in the northwest will be some skeletons with bows, swords, I want to say, and the veteran will have a great sword. Okay, another thing to note is whenever you fall off of a ledge at the edge of a map, you will be teleported a moderate distance away from the ledge unharmed. So here in the southwest area, wherever you fall, even over there, you will be teleported over here to the central area. Likewise, there are other places kind of all over the place. There's an area on the left, on the west side. There's some places here in the southeast, and then a few places here along the east and northeast as well. And I think there's one spot here in the north. But just explore those, find out for yourself. Can be pretty fun. But that's it for the ledges there. Your mini-map is going to be a great source of information as well. Without having to constantly open up your map, you'll be able to see, the area around you, see what's going on. If you get near an event, you'll see its radius thing pop up, but you do have to be fairly close to get that started. You'll also see the white class or profession icons appear on the mini-map. These will be your fellow villagers that are surviving. If you see it's orange or colored, that's going to be a ghost, and you will want to make sure you make use of your skills to try to survive that. I will pause and pick up in the next match. Alright, other things about the map. There are alarm walls located right in front of me here in the west. In the north there's one. Over in the east there's one right there, and over in the south there's one right there. These alarm walls, whenever you approach near enough to them, you'll get this red light, you'll hear some sounds, you'll get a little thing around you here, and your position is pinged on the map. This is true for every villager that shows up, and of course you get to see Steve's face poking out of the wall, but this will alert ghosts to your location, so you don't want to just hang out in here. It's not a good idea. Alright, now for some map tips. You will want to check your mini-map constantly for the location of nearby ghosts, such as these colored icons here that I just mentioned, as well as the general direction that they're traveling. This is pretty basic stuff for how to sneak around and avoid getting caught, killed, whatever. Aside from this, you want to keep moving your camera around. If you are hiding in one spot, if you're trying to be stationary and just pick a good hiding spot, just keep your camera on a swivel. On that note, if you are able to use a mouse to control camera movement independently of your character movement, I cannot recommend doing this highly enough. Another thing too is to keep an eye out for your team chat, which will be here in the bottom left. It could also be party chat if you are partied with other people and make it into the same instance, or even generally the map chat, as some players will coordinate with each other for completing events or simply sharing the location and direction of ghosts, especially if there's only one or two ghosts that are traveling around. Ghosts can see your position when another ghost is nearby, and they can see you, so keep that in mind. When one ghost finds you, all ghosts can also know your location as well. Ghosts can also see your position whenever you are not hiding, if they are currently standing on a teleport pad, which is part of the map here, so I will go ahead. Also, a rare moment here, if you're the last villager alive, Ripper, this chainsaw here, Steve's chainsaw, will spawn on you. So that's a thing. So fun little moment, kill a ghost. But this right here is a teleport pad. That's what I want to show you. There's one in each of the cardinal directions. So keep that in mind as well. One right here, 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 and here. So that's a thing that you will want to bear in mind whenever you're trying to hide. I will pause this and see you at the next match. Okay, so on that last tip, where the ghost can see your position whenever they're standing on one of those teleport pads, it reveals your position as a dot on the map. Just a dot, doesn't show your name, doesn't show your class or anything. They'll be able to see it. They'll also be able to see it so long as they're standing on it. Whatever direction you're moving, it is a real-time, very smooth update. So that is what you'll want to keep in mind. It's also a very large radius, so it won't matter how far away you are. However, if a ghost is sitting on the east side, they will not see positions appear, say, on the north or south. Just everything kind of here on the right side. There's a limit to the radius, and I will tackle this later in the video, or perhaps in the veteran villager video. Certain positions within the that moment is now. Certain positions within the corners of the map are beyond the telepad's radar radius. If you're lucky, no ghost will check that spot until near the end of the match, or hopefully not at all. However, generally, it's better to complete events or help fellow villagers stockpile items for combat, as working together can keep a ghost busy and run down the timer. Or, running away once there are too many ghosts, because ghosts do always have an advantage, especially one-on-one. So this means to stay on the move, generally speaking, and never really sitting in one place. But if you are going to sit in one place, those locations are right here in the southeast area. This is a good spot to hide, where not only is your name tag covered, because your name tag is visible to ghosts from around corners. People don't realize just how visible their name is, the character name. Like if I was hiding right here and a ghost was approaching from over here, they would still be able to see my name. So hiding down here in the southeast is a good spot. I'll go ahead and see you again once I make it to the other places as well. Okay, another good spot that is outside of the radar's radius is up here in the northeast corner. There's this ledge right here. You can just drop down to this spot right here, jump around, and jump around again. Ghosts generally will not go this far out here to try to find you, but they might. And just because you're physically far enough away from either of these teleport pads, the north one or the east one here, your dot will not be revealed whenever they're standing on those teleport pads. Also, it's a good spot to fall off the ledge and maybe hide whenever you do. So the ghost will be over there with you, and trying to get you, but you'll just teleport away. And the final ledge, that is a great spot to hide where your name tag is not visible. I've just barely made it to. On the other side of the map, here in the southwest corner, is this spot right here. No name tags will be visible unless, of course, the ghost comes all the way off to the side and then looks over here. Of course, hopefully you'll be able to just use your hide skill and they won't see over here. And then likewise, you can fall off the edge and be teleported to where you saw earlier in the video. Villager skills. As you can see here, we do not have any skills whatsoever except for the one on the far right. There it is again. Hide in shadows, last 10 seconds, so long as you stay within the radius of it. As soon as you move outside of it, you will be revealed. This goes, the same is true as well whenever a ghost will fear you outside of it. So keep that in mind. All other skills must come from picking up items. Otherwise, ghosts can target you with a Mad King Says skill. And I will cover that soon in just a minute here. Okay, I have a fellow guild member and friend, Sniper Lily Ruka here, also called Lily. She's going to help demonstrate, hello Lily, she's going to help demonstrate some of the Mad King Says skills here. So if you would, go ahead and hit me with one. We have about 10 seconds effectively to pick the correct emote here and hopefully choose the right one. And if we don't get it done in time, which we did not, it will cancel the emote itself if we have one in progress, deal damage to us, and stun us for a few. If you would go ahead and do another one. If we do, however, manage to click the correct picture in time, and you can match those pictures up, it will give us this powerful buff called Mad King's Bounty, and as you saw, it will blast away the ghost and deal damage to them. This buff, we'll see it one more time if you don't mind. This buff grants us super speed, meaning we have the maximum amount of speed, and I think even more than just 33% increase, but I could be wrong here, as well as immunity to Mad King Says again. So we'll go ahead and get this buff again. Lily already knew it was coming, and she will attempt to use another Mad King Says on us while we have this buff. Go ahead. But it knocks her back anyway. You note that that does not deal any damage though. So that's, if you're hoping to kill them with it, it won't work. Lily, if you don't mind, one more time. There is food as well. You can consume it. Oh wait, I did this wrong. Well, my mistake. The food also gives you that buff, which is all I was going to demonstrate, but I will cover more about food later whenever I get to the item section. Thank you, Lily. Okay, another thing to point out about some tips related to skills here. We are faster than ghosts. Let's go ahead and run on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, run. And you'll notice that I am able to put some good distance between us, even though we are both in combat right now. So this is a good thing for us, as they are much deadlier than us. So a good tip that I have for you is simply by running far enough out of line of sight, moving around a corner, and hiding as they approach. So if we were to demonstrate this here, there's a corner right here. I can move out of line of sight because I'm so much faster and then go invisible. And she'll have to guess where we went invisible at, or if she's not aware of that kind of thing, she might just run past us. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video again, and I'll see you soon to cover one more thing before we get to items. Alright, welcome back. Here I have a fellow guildmate and friend, Varus. Hi, Varus. Last time we saw Lily, this time it's Varus. He's going to help me demonstrate some of the dodges and things that we can do. So, Varus, if you would, go ahead and just start using the #1 chop skill. And as you saw, we evaded one of those. It does chop 3 times, so it's not usually recommended to try using your dodge to evade that. But next, if you would, go ahead and do your fear, your number 3. Yeah. That is another one that you can dodge. That was just a poor demonstration of my ability to dodge it, but just know that you can dodge through that. So if you can see them start to do it, time that better than I did. Go ahead and do the number 4, fear. Once again, just like the number 3 fear, you can dodge that one as well. The only thing that you cannot, 2 things that you cannot dodge is the number 2, if you would. Even though I tried dodging it and even through or past Varus, it did not dodge. That's something you just cannot dodge there. The only way that you might dodge it, so to speak, is if they do not have you selected and then you go through them. For some reason, then the hit just goes past you. And now the other thing that we cannot dodge is a Mad King Says. If you would, go ahead, please. You cannot dodge any of the Mad King Says emotes. So we're going to go ahead and try to complete the dance. And we just barely were able to do it. You might have noticed that it was flashing there, the little icon, but we managed to pull that off. Actually, now's a good time to reiterate on those Mad King Says skills. 2 of them, the dance and the ponder, are not... They're not recommended that you try to perform them, as they take way too long. If you know that you're for sure going to be safe for the full duration of that emote, or those emotes, go ahead and do them. Otherwise, the only emotes that I can recommend trying to perform would be the first 3 for the ghost, which is the shrug emote, the salute emote, and the cower emote. Okay, I will see you in the next match, and we will go over some of the items. Okay, welcome back. I've got both of my helpers here. I'm going to get right into this. So interspersed throughout the labyrinth are various items which ghosts and villagers may both utilize, the former, the ghost, to set traps, and the latter to aid in our survival. When used by a villager, for example, black goo here, on a ghost, you will want to target them. You throw the goo and it will blind them, causing the next attack to miss, which is especially great if you can time it knowing that the ghost is going to use their that big slash skill that you just saw. The next item, Bone, will do Bone Crack, stuns them for a few seconds, and deals about 33% of their life, which is great. Moderate damage for that one. Next, we have a Torch. Whatever they're doing, if you would go ahead and just walk toward me, please. It causes them to do this funny little on fire animation. So it's kind of our way of saying, you know, villager says roll on the floor. So that's the thing. Torch is very good CC. Also to note, Torch does not put you in combat. So if you're not already in combat with a ghost, you will retain your out of combat movement speed while they are rolling on the floor. Next we have spider webs. You use it. Again, target the ghost will be the best thing to do there. It immobilizes them, though the immobilization does not last very long. And finally, we have food. I will go over the hammer and other certain things. What food does, thank you, it will heal you for about 1/4 of your maximum hit points there. It also grants you that buff from before. It will clear conditions as well. So if you are hit with a cripple, immobilize, fear, whatever, it'll clear all those conditions, poison as well. And then finally, the two last things that it does is it will refresh your hide skill. I'll just pause and show you the last 2 things. Okay, here I am with some food again. One of the other things that it does, and in addition to the other things of clearing Condi, is it's a stun break. So if you are stunned from Mad King Says and somehow have food on you, it will break that stun. Otherwise, like I mentioned before, you can use it while feared to break out of that fear and cleanse other conditions. The very last thing that it also does, a lesser known fact, is whenever you have used your hide and shadows, it goes on that long cooldown. However, if you eat food, it is instantly refreshed. So you can use this to sort of time your 10 seconds of stealth with another 10 seconds, giving you 20 seconds and tricking most ghosts. Another item, and the last item that you will find spawned through the labyrinth, although I misspoke there, it is only spawned in 4 locations. The hammer. The hammer spawns in each of the directions at the beginning of the 4 hallways from the center in the middle area. The hammers have this hammer smash skill. It does a light amount of damage. You will need many hammer smashes in order to hurt a ghost, as well as this mighty smash, which deals about a quarter of the ghost's maximum hit points. So that's a moderate amount of damage right there, as well as knocking them back. I will pause for a moment until we can get a ghost over here. All right, once again, have my friend here to help demonstrate some things, just to demonstrate the damage. We have the number 1, as you can see, it doesn't hurt very much, and the number 2, which sends them flying, kind of like if we had finished a Mad King Says. A very fun thing about this is that if you are near a ledge and you jump off, it will respawn you somewhere nearby. However, if you knock a ghost off the ledge, it will send them all the way to the middle. We don't need to demonstrate this at this moment. Take my word for it. Have a little fun there. Discover it for yourself. Instead, what I'd like to demonstrate, we have just enough time for, hopefully, are these alarm walls. Earlier in the video, I mentioned how these are pretty dangerous to stand in, as it will alert ghosts to your presence. Well, you can smash them with a hammer, and this is the first of some secrets. It leads into getting a boulder, and boulders are able to be thrown at a target. It will knock them down, deal some damage, and the boulders in turn can be used to get a pumpkin. By aiming and throwing at a certain hanging pumpkins. I will go over some of these later. Next, you can use your pumpkin skill to deal some damage. If you hit a ghost, it will daze them and hurt them for a kind of a moderate amount. And if you're lucky enough, you can make your way with your now jack-o'-lantern, because once you deal damage with the pumpkin, it turns into a jack-o'-lantern. Likewise, you can attack a ghost with this. It won't turn into anything else. It just continues to do kind of a small amount of damage there. But you run all the way up this hill, talk to the Mad King Thorn, and you'll get the final item of the game and a secret here, the gun, or rather the Blunderbuss. The Blunderbuss is pretty great. You only get 2 chances here, but you will have a gun. If you are too far away, you might miss or only do a little bit of damage, or in this case, a moderate amount. However, using your number 1 skill will reveal another number 1 skill called the Rifle Butt, which deals a little bit of damage and knocks them back. It has a pretty short cooldown too, so that's pretty good. I will cover usages of the Blunderbuss and other secrets in a later video for some veteran villager tips. Okay, welcome back. Here with my friend Varus again. So, some tips vaguely related to items. As far as the item spawns go, here in the southwest, for example, there are torches, but Samson here is not asking for torches. He's asking for black goo. If you like, you can take torches from here and take it all the way to where it is needed in the opposite corner where they are spawning the fire imps. That NPC needs torches. Likewise, over in that corner, you can get black goo and come over to this corner to turn it into Samson. These are, this is another example of where items are guaranteed to spawn. The torches are guaranteed to spawn in this place, in this area. Another tip is that if you have your NPC volume or chatter on, you should be able to hear the Mad King Says commands. Likewise, if you have the NPC, you probably can't see this actually, but in your chat, you can control which types of messages will appear in your chat log. So if you have the NPC checkbox checked, you will be able to see the Mad King Thorn telling you that your Mad King Says. As soon as you hear this or see this in your chat, you will be able to eat food, which brings me to another tip here. Always carry food with you. Unless you're, transporting torches or whatever items to where they need to go, always carry food with you. But that said, if you would go ahead, Varys. I heard your Mad King Says. I used the food item. It gave me the immunity to Mad King Says, knocking Varys back. And even though it put me in combat, that super speed would have allowed me to just gain incredible distance while Varys is still back there, knocked back and on the ground for a little bit. And I'm just zooming far, far away for 5 seconds. That concludes this. I will go ahead and pause once again to go over some of the common activities within this minigame that villagers like to do. Okay, welcome back. Unfortunately, in this round I've been chosen as a ghost, but fortunately I do not need to be a villager in order to demonstrate some villager things. So the activities or minigames that some players like to get up to are just fun ways to play within this area. I mean, there's no real hard and fast rules, right? It's just survive or kill, depending upon your role. One of the common activities, and I'll go over a couple more as well, is called golfing. Golfing is where a villager with a hammer uses number 2, the hammer number 2, to knock another ghost off the ledge. I will demonstrate this with the help of my friends again. Any ledge will do, but especially ledges at the edges of a map, such as the one that we're approaching here. I haven't moved in just yet because I want to describe something here. So there is a place, this is the place here in the east side, where players really enjoy setting up for a round of golf by stockpiling CC items called crowd control and bringing multiple hammers. They then lure ghosts and start playing. What makes this area so special is this long hallway right here. This is very important because it's such a long journey to go from middle over to here, and then you round the corner and you are met with a fire torch or something else to CC you. Go ahead. And while you're writhing in pain, someone comes, uses the number 2, knocks you off the edge of the map, and what do you know? One-way ticket back to middle. And now you have to start the entire journey over again. And that's golfing in a nutshell. When villagers work together, they can really waste your time like this. Or rather, you can really waste the ghost time. I will go ahead and pause and meet you in the next area. Okay, another area that players like to go is the bone zone. This is named such primarily for all of the bones that do spawn within this area. Players can also bring other things, but bones are guaranteed to spawn, or at least have a very high rate of spawning. You can pretty much find them anywhere. The reason why they go here is because of the bones, and rather than trying to golf any ghosts off the ledge, which there is another one over there, they just use the bones to kill you because bones do a lot of damage. Go ahead and yeah. What's more is the bones will stun someone, so even while they have the cooldown on their items, which is a short cooldown, they are able to chain together, repeatedly hitting a ghost with bones if they've stockpiled them enough until they kill the ghost. You get enough villagers with enough bones and torches and other things, and you can see how much they have fun bullying a poor axe-wielding murderous ghost. I'll see you in the next area. Alright, the final area here that villagers commonly like to congregate in is here in the southwest. There's no agreed upon very common name for this. I sometimes call it the fire fields or the fire forest. I've heard the burning wood, some other things, but as you can see, it's because there's a bunch of fire and some trees and also torches. If you would, go ahead and throw a torch at me. Ghosts, especially if they don't know what they're doing, or if you time it just right, when hit by this, as demonstrated before, it CCs them. So when villagers have enough of these, they can chain them together, working one after another to keep the ghost CC'd. If the ghost does know what they're doing, this can get out of hand very quickly, so it's not very recommended. Finally, of course, there's a ledge here, so if people do bring hammers, you can just gulf them off pretty easily. That pretty much covers it. So thanks for watching, and have a happy Halloween. I'll see you in the veteran villager video, perhaps.